OnePlus is back with another killer flagship. Killer flagship. Get it? Anyway, the OnePlus 3. Should you get it? Is it worth your time? Worth your money? Well, let's find out in this video. Before we do, if this is your first time here or if you hate me for that pun, anyway, my name's Ash, this is C4E Tech and you're watching my full review of the new OnePlus 3. Let's get started. Starting with the build, OnePlus have kinda deviated from their usual formula. No replaceable sandstone back here, we've got a metal unibody design instead. There's also a camera bump now, and the phone kinda sorta looks a little HTC-ish, if I can say that. That said, it is slim and sleek, just 7.5mm thick and weighs in at under 160 grams. I do miss the replaceable backs, but OnePlus are selling back covers that you can just snap on. And yeah, there is a sandstone variant. Now, given that the phone's very slim, the covers don't add any extra bulk, almost feels like a skin on top of the phone, very comfortable to use. I also love AMOLED displays, the inky blacks along with the razor thin bezels, the 2.5D glass on top. I kinda like the way this phone looks, but I'm a sucker for AMOLED screens, so you tell me, do you think the change in design language is for better or for the worse? Here's a poll. Yeah. Now, though things have changed, this is still definitely a OnePlus device. We've got capacitive keys with a fingerprint scanner in between. You also get an option to use on-screen keys instead if you want that. Swap the key, set actions for long press or double tap. The alert slider also returns, letting you silence your OnePlus 3 real quick. This also comes with its own set of customizations, so there's a lot to love for existing OnePlus users. The fingerprint scanner is also an upgrade, by the way. It can still wake the phone from sleep and is faster and more accurate than ever before, more in line with this year's flagships. That said, the display resolution still remains at Full HD. So we have a 5.5-inch Gorilla Glass 4 covered AMOLED display that's bright, produces rich colors, offers brilliant viewing angles, and is quite sharp. As long as you aren't comparing it side by side with a Quad HD display or using it for VR, you're not going to have any issues here. Like with OnePlus flagships of the past, the OnePlus 3 packs the best internals available right now. The Snapdragon 820 chip, an Adreno 530 GPU, and a whopping 6 gigs of RAM. You also get 64 gigs of non-expandable UFS 2.0 storage, NFC is back, and you can still use 2 SIM cards if you so wanna. The performance is top-notch. The Adreno 530 is a solid GPU that we've seen in quite a few flagships in the recent past. It's had no issues with Quad HD displays, so with just a Full HD display, it breezes through anything that we throw at it and does that while managing to stay cool. If there's one thing I feel could have been a little better, that would be the downwards facing speakers. They are loud enough, but the sound output is a little too tinny for my liking. That said, the output via the 3.5mm headphone jack, call quality and cellular reception were top notch. All this is powered by a 3000 mAh non-user replaceable battery. Now if you're thinking, that can't be right, that's smaller than the battery found on the OnePlus 2. Well, you are correct, but sadly, that is the battery that OnePlus have decided to go with. But that said, it has managed to get me through a full day with my regular kind of usage that involves Wi-Fi and 3G on all day, some casual gaming, an hour or so of YouTube, a lot of music via Bluetooth, push notifications for social media and mails, and a couple of hours of calls. And with this kind of usage, I ended each of the 7 days that I use this phone as my primary device with at least 15 to 20% juice left. If you were to run out of juice, the bundled dash charger will get you from 0 to 60 in 30 minutes. So with that, let's now talk cameras. To the back, the OnePlus 3 sports a 16 megapixel rear camera with face detection autofocus and an optically stabilized lens with an f/2.0 aperture. Under good light, this camera performs well. Images are detailed, colors are more or less accurate, the dynamic range is decent. Under low light, there's quite a bit of noise, but the images are still acceptable. For more information, we've got a dedicated camera review and I'll leave a card to it here. This camera can also shoot 4K video. The optical image stabilization is just about okay. The bitrate's a little low, leading to some artifacts in the footage, but for the most part, it's still decent. The camera UI is pretty straightforward. There's a manual mode included now, lets you choose shutter speed, focus, and more. You can even set separate points of focus and exposure. Good stuff from OnePlus. The 8 megapixel front-facing shooter is a decent step up and gets the selfie job done. Talking about the UI, the OnePlus 3 runs on Oxygen OS 3.1 built on top of Android 6 Marshmallow. Oxygen OS is quite close to stock Android and comes without any bloat, barring a few preloaded OnePlus apps like the Gallery and Camera, which aren't really bloat. Now, that's not to say that interface is bland, because it's not. There are quite a few tweaks that Oxygen OS brings with it. We've seen a couple already. The shelf functionality returns, it lists your frequently used apps and the weather, you can add quick notes from here, and there's even an option to add widgets. You get to customize your home screen, change the search bar, icon size, the app drawer, grid size, and so on. The notification bar can also be customized. There's even a night mode option here that turns the display warmer and helps with usage in the dark. Talking about tinkering with the display, the color balance of the display itself can be tweaked. Since this is an AMOLED display, the ambient display option also makes a lot of sense. Additionally, you also get a dark mode and can customize the accent colors, hell, even the notification LEDs. So the word that I keep repeating over here is customization, and there's a lot of that here with Oxygen OS. But unlike something like, say, MIUI, you don't need to learn or even realize that all these exist. You can just choose to ignore all of it and use Oxygen OS the same way you'd use stock Android on an Nexus phone. And yes, you will be missing out on all the tweaks that we were talking about, but you will still be using a perfectly functioning UI. And that's something I really like about Oxygen OS. A simple learning curve with enough depth for a seasoned user. Nice. And of course, the user experience is great. The OnePlus 3 is fast. All that horsepower underneath, along with the insane 6 gigs of RAM, translates to apps and games opening up very quick, and great multitasking for the most part. There are a few niggles with multitasking, but nothing an update can't fix. And now, on that note, let's talk price. The OnePlus 3 is priced at $399 internationally and at 28,000 rupees here in India. And finally, OnePlus have done away with the invite system nonsense. And yes, I'm gonna call it nonsense. I hated the invite system and I'm glad it's over now. OnePlus have checked almost all the right boxes, and the OnePlus 3 feels like a polished flagship without a lot of compromises. Overall, this seems like a step in the right direction for OnePlus. So I guess that's it for this video. Give it a thumbs up if you liked it, vote it down if you didn't, and if you have any constructive criticism, hit me up in the comments below. And when you're down there, hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. So if you do want to help the channel out, consider changing your Flipkart or Amazon bookmarks to ones with the affiliate ID, or using our links to buy the phone if you do want to get a OnePlus 3. We've got direct links in the description below. So thanks a lot for watching. Till next time, this is Ash here from C4E Tech, signing off. You guys have a great day. Bye-bye now.